Everyone, welcome back to the next video. This video is continuation of our last video of how to use GraphQL with Spring Boot. So in this video we will be querying data from a real database, and like I mentioned in last video, we will be using the H2 database, but if you want you can use Postgres or something else as well. Now this H2 is like an in-memory database itself. So once your server is closed, all the data which is stored inside your in-memory database will get lost. So be careful with that. So first I'll show you the output. So I'll quickly run my server, and once the server is up and running, you will have to go to localhost /8080/h2-console. If once you go to this, okay, I'll just go through this, and here I have two tables, right? I have created two tables, users as well as post. Now I will manually insert some data inside my users table. We will look into mutation later on in future videos. For this video we will be just fetching data from our database using queries. So I'll just copy paste this. Okay, and here I will show you where I have configured this JDBC URL, username and password. This is inside the application.properties file. So I'll show you that in a bit as well. So whatever is your data source URL, username and password, you have to enter it over here. Okay, next I'll just click on connect. I'll quickly run this. So this will create one user for me. Okay, and I'll also run this statement like this query. So this will create a post for me. Once this is created, I can just go to my GraphQL interface on localhost /8080/graphical, and this is my query which I'm trying to run. If I run it, here you can see I'm getting the ID as well as the title. If I want the description, I can do that as well. If I want the author, the entire details of the author, I can do that as well. So yeah, that's what we will be doing in this video. Again, once this server is closed, all the data which is stored inside your H2 database will get lost, because this is an in-memory database. If you want the data to be persisted, you use something like MySQL, Postgres or something like that. So yeah, let's get started. So I'll just comment this out. So first I will show you the application.properties. So here I have added the H2 database URL, username, password, and the database is H2. And here I'm just trying to show some SQL inside our once our server is started inside our console, just so that I know that okay, everything has been created properly. And I am also enabled this H2 console and enabled as well. So this is for JPA and this is for H2. So these are just console enabled queries. Next, inside I have made some changes to our user.java file. So firstly what I have done is that I have marked, so these are all the imports. Firstly I have marked it as @entity, then the table name would be users, then these for this UUID I have marked it as @ID, and it is generated value, so auto generation, and similarly for name and one-to-many map for our post. Now this name should be same whatever you have defined inside your query. So if I show you my query, here you can see it is post and this is author. Okay, so post should be the same thing which you have defined inside user.java. Now for JPA, there I think it is a requirement that you should have a default constructor. That's why I've created this. I have another constructor for UUID and name, and these are like getter setters. For post also I have created, so make sure you have that as well. Next, I have also refactored our post.java file. So again, these are all the imports, and I have marked it as @entity and @table name of post. Then I have marked this as UUID of ID. Then for title, then this is a column for description, and this is for author. So this name should be same, and we are joining the thing by author_ID. But if you want, you can name it differently as well. And again, the default constructor I think is necessary for JPA. Here I have just created our this constructor post. I don't think we require this. You can just ignore this if you want to, because I'm not really using this anywhere. And then I have just created getter setters for all the properties which we have. Next, what I have done is I have created a folder called repository. Inside that I have created user repository.java, and I have just created an interface which extends the JPA repository, and we just have to pass our user comma UUID. Similarly for post repository as well, I have done the same thing. Post repository which extends JPA repository, I have passed our post as well as UUID, but I have also added one more method called find by author ID. Once if you want to find the author for this particular post, okay, and by default there are methods present inside JPA, so we can directly use those methods, but I have created one custom method as well. Next, I have created a folder called service. Inside that, first I have created post service.java. It is marked as @service and transactional. I have auto wired our post repository in this class. Then I have defined two methods, get post and get post by author. So first, inside get post, we are just calling post repository dot find all dot stream, and I am just creating each and every post and then collecting it as a list. Similarly over here as well, I am finding it by author ID and then converting it to a stream, then mapping over it, generating each and every post, and then just collecting as collectors.toList. Then inside user service.java, you can see that I have created a user repository as well as post repository, and for finding a post by its ID, we just pass its post ID. So from that ID we generate a post entity. So this find by ID method is already present in JPA, so we don't have to write any bit of code, and then I'm just returning the user by getting the ID as well as the name. Next, we have to go to the post resolver.java. So if I go to post resolver.java, and here you can see I have created one query mapping called get post, where I am just calling the get post method which we have defined inside our service class. So here you can see I am just getting all the post. Okay, then I have created a schema mapping which we had done in the last video as well. So this is for post and this is for user, and if the post dot get ID is equal to null for this author, then I'm just throwing an exception that post ID cannot be null, and I'm just then I'm getting user service dot find by post ID post dot get ID. Okay, and if you remember, this is what it is. So we are getting the user by the post ID, and here we are just passing the user to get the list of posts. So if the user dot get ID is equal to null, then we are throwing an exception. Otherwise we are just calling post service dot get post by author, and here you can see we are just again getting the list of post. So yeah, basically this is the important thing, and these are just like field mapper thing which we have done. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Bye.